So earlier this morning, Rockstar Games has dropped a new trailer, not a actual GTA 6 trailer. It was, or at least not a gameplay one or an actual trailer, but it was more or less the cover art reveal and the pre-order release date. And it's crazy, man. Holy shit. We're getting slowly more closer to one of the most generational games of all time. It's crazy because we had like the on running joke or the ongoing joke of like this happens before GTA 6, and now GTA 6, we're gonna have GTA 6 here before GTA 6. I don't even fucking know, but it's crazy that we're finally in a time where we're getting closer to one of the most pivotal games that most people will be able to play. You had Grand Theft Auto 5, which was one of the biggest games of all time. You had Minecraft, again, one of the biggest games of all time. Other varieties like maybe Roblox or whatever, but it's crazy that we're finally approaching and ever so slowly closer to something that's been in the works for 13 plus years now. I remember when 2013, around 2013, GTA 5 had been released for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, and of course for the first 2 months, 3 months, it was just the campaign. It was just a story. That was all that was accessible, and then of course later on, online got released. And I had so many memories, and I have so much memories of Grand Theft Auto 5 because, I mean, for a game that's been around for 10 plus years, up there with like Rainbow Six Siege, For Honor, and other reoccurring games that still have a player base and that's been around for 10 plus years, it's crazy that there has been so many memories made within that game over time to the point where I literally grew up with that game. I was, not to dox myself or whatever, but I am 24 years old. Of course, you can pinpoint what year, but I was born in 2002. So by the time Grand Theft Auto 5 released, I would have been 11 years old. Now, for someone like me who is 11 years old, a very young kid, and wanting to play an adult, more like game, it was hard to do that because obviously back then, and most of my generation knows the memes, when you want to buy a game, especially if you're a child accompanied by an adult, or if you were a child, more often than not, the clerk there is going to be like, hey, so by the way, if you're by yourself, obviously, your child's a child, you're not able to get this game, there's restrictions, you have to have your parent with you, yada, yada, yada. And nowadays, right, like, I had to have an adult accompany me, or I had to have parent verification to even be able to play this game. And so, of course, my parents didn't know the fullest extent of Grand Theft Auto. They just knew it was like a free roam game. You just do whatever, and there's stories to it. And so, yeah, again, there's so much memories and so much story, so much lore of even myself that has been grown throughout this game. I mean, 2013, I would have been 11 years old, and of course, like I was saying, like you had to have an adult accompany you when this game came out. Now I could get GTA 6 without any other verification or any other permission or anything. I can just get that shit myself, which is a crazy testament to how long Rockstar has been working on this game, has been fine-tuning it, and of course, the build-up to release. And so, it's cool. We got, of course, the cover reveal. That was, obviously, I don't like repeating myself, but was revealed earlier this morning. Pretty generic. I think all of us kind of knew what it was going to be. It was kind of easy to tell, but, or not to say, like, it was predictable, but it was just like, we kind of understood the cover art was going to be kind of what it was. And so it's not really so much the biggest hype to it. I think it's more or less that the pre-order date was also released. And so that is going to be June 25th, which is a week from now. And so it's crazy to think that because it's many things today. Not because today, June 18th, 2026, we have gotten the reveal for pre-order dates. Rockstar posted a video on June 18th talking about pre-order dates and the cover reveal. And on this day as well, not only has GTA and Rockstar revealed all that, 8 years ago on this day on June 18th, of course, a very pitiful artist, XXXTentacion, as you can clearly see by my wall of sweatshirts, because he had like a bunch of clothes drops, and so I just kind of like to have it as, I don't say memorabilia, but like whatever. And so X was one of my, I don't want to sugarcoat it, X is my favorite artist of all time. And so it's crazy that Rockstar, which is also what I was going to segue into, has not only released and revealed a lot of information on June 18th and posted videos. 8 years ago on this day, XXXTentacion was unfortunately murdered, and his life was taken. And so I think that's a lot. I think it's very interesting, and I think it's kind of it could be coincidence. It could just be, yada yada yada. But it's cool to think that Rockstar has posted a video right around and on the anniversary of X's passing, which is 8 years. The reason I even bring that up is because the game GTA 6 and Vice City takes place in Florida. And if you don't know, that's where XXXTentacion resided and he was from. He was from Florida. I don't remember the exact, I don't think it was Miami, but he is from Florida. And so him, along with Ski Mask and some other various artists, are also being hinted at being artists and in the game as songs on radio stations, etc. And so that would be very crazy. I mean, I feel like everyone is hoping, and I feel like it's gonna happen where you have XXXTentacion and Ski Mask, some guy being in GTA 6 on particularly the radio stations because it takes place in Florida, and one of the most generational artists and pivotal artists, especially with rock, hip hop, comes from Florida. And I think that would be a great testament and a great tribute to XXXTentacion, the late XXXTentacion, because holy shit, again, he was a really big artist and he's from Florida. And it's crazy to think that we're just getting this news, the reveal, pre-order dates on the 8th anniversary of X's passing. So again, coincidental or not, I think it's cool that this has happened, and I think hopefully it nods to that. I hope that they are adding them in the game, which I don't see why not. I mean, X was a very big artist, especially in around the 2018 to the 2010s. I'd say between 2017 to the 2020s or 2020, just a huge generational artist that was pretty much beating, Drake, a lot of other artists, and just being one of the top artists in the music industry. You have artists that come and go. You have artists that rise, that get popular and get very viral, but don't have that retentive fan base like X had. And I think it would be almost, I don't want to say disrespectful, but it would be very heartbreaking if X wasn't in the game, because again, this takes place in Florida, and Florida as a state was captivated. And I don't want to say captivated, but an artist that is from Florida, it brings a lot of revenue to Florida, because if you have an artist that is primarily residing in a state like Florida, and you have someone as big as him performing in Florida, that not only brings in more viewership, that brings in more tourism, that brings in more revenue as far as people who are coming to these concerts, these performances. And so it really brings a lot of life to the game when you have someone that was so pivotal from Florida, that would be presumably in the game, which would be super amazing. I think that would be super awesome. This is probably just 16-year-old me fanboying over it, but obviously I wouldn't say I could care less. I think it would just, it is what it is. If he's in the game, if he's not in the game, I don't work at Rockstar, it is what it is. But I think it would be necessary and it would be appropriate to have XXX as with some of his songs in and on the radio stations in GTA 6, which again would be super incredible. But besides XXXTentacion, we did get, of course, and reiterating, the cover art revealed, we got the pre-order dates revealed, and so it's finally getting closer. We're inching ever so slightly closer to getting GTA 6, which is still a couple months from now. I think it's like 4 or 5 months from now. So it's not right around the corner, but it's crazy to think that we're now finally getting pre-orders, which is so crazy to think about. And thinking about it, of course, it would make sense that they're doing it this early, because I feel like some people are going to ask, like, why is it so early? It's like 4 or 5 months in advance that we're getting these pre-orders. Seems kind of weird. And so I think of course, it makes sense that they're doing this because it's still in development. They're still making sure and etching out everything. And I'm not going to say here and be like, oh, because Rockstar needs the money. They have more than enough money, but pre-orders help them continue making the game the way they need it to. Now that they'll have pre-orders, they're going to make more in pre-orders than presumably some game companies make when they actually release a game and it doesn't have that retentive fan base after a week or so. Rockstar is going to make so much money off of pre-orders alone that it would make sense that they use that money for continuous development with GTA 6 until it's released, because it's not going to be for a couple months. And of course, it's still probably being worked on, it's still being fine-tuned. So I think that money helps kind of give relief to be like, okay, we've had a lot of people work hard on this. A lot of people who spent countless nights and way more time than they should have working on this game, making it to where it needs to be. So I feel like they're also doing the early pre-orders as early as this to help compensate for that, because it's not like Rockstar isn't making money or they don't have enough money. They're one of the biggest game companies out there, and they have one of the best games released of all time, and they have so much money from that's why they've spent upwards and up to about $1 billion on this game, which was up there with like one of the other game companies who spent like 400 million on a game for it to almost presumably seem like it's not going to make that money back. But that's a whole different conversation. But again, Rockstar has nothing to worry about. I feel like the pre-orders, of course, it's to help build hype, but it's also great to have retentive revenue, especially pre-orders, because now that's going to be like how YouTubers and content creators use Patreon as a way to make means. It's like that with Rockstar. Now they're going to be able to use that and fortify and make sure that GTA 6 is, fine-tuned to everything that they need to have it be. And so, yay, we're finally getting it. GTA 6 is ever so slightly closer to getting GTA 6. Pre-orders are finally here. Cover art is being revealed. It's almost sad because there's been so much time and memories made with GTA 5, and for me, especially GTA 4, that it's almost surreal that we're finally getting GTA 6 as a next installment where I'm a grown-ass man. It's going to be so much more different for me to be able to be, I don't know how to say it, to have my life going on and make memories with GTA 6, because at that point, I'm already a grown-ass man. I could do this shit in real life. So versus me as a kid playing GTA 4 and GTA 5, the immersion with it, everything that's come with it, the memories and all that, it's going to suck. At least for me, it's not going to hit the same. But at the same time, it's so crazy to think that we're in a time of history where we're finally getting GTA 6 and we're finally getting ever so closer to being able to play it and it being a real thing that people will be able to enjoy. So I guess enough yapping. I just wanted to talk about it because it got revealed earlier this morning by Rockstar Games. And it was kind of, for me, it was kind of I don't want to say a wake-up call, but a kind of an indicator that, like, we are finally in a point of history where, gameplay-wise, I feel like we have so many moments in gaming history where things go up and down, interests go up, kind of come and go. We don't have a lot of retentive games that help us want to be in games and want to stick around and be so happy to enjoy it. I think one of the very few games in the last games that had that was Arc Raiders, because that was, again, everyone was loving it, everyone wanted to play it. And of course, it kind of dies down and becomes repetitive. So of course, people are going to not want to play the same thing and do the same thing over and over and over. But it's cool to think that games like that can happen, where we get the community back to being like so in depth with games and so into it. And so I'm hoping that's what GTA 6 does, because I feel like as a gaming community, as we get older, we start to feel less indulged in games, and it's not as retentive. Like, a game could be out and can still be enjoyed for years and still be wanting for more content from that game. Nowadays, a game can come out, and a couple months later it dies and it falls off. That's how bad of a ADHD is a bitch in our generation, because I don't think a lot of players are wanting to stay retentive. It's just everything going on. We got to pick and choose. What do we want? What makes us happy? What's entertaining us? We got to go to that and just ditch other things. And so I'm hoping GTA 6 stays retentive, and along with other games that do come out, because it's I think a thing for gamers to enjoy is to stay retentive in that space and immersion, instead of just feeling like you're playing a game to play a game. Now, this just could be me because I'm getting older, but I feel like there's a lot of people in my generation that are starting to feel that way because, of course, they're getting older and they have more responsibilities. But for games, especially in 2026, the big 2026, we like more immersed games, and we like games that are retentive, meaning that I can still play it for months on end and be encapsulated by it. And so I've had very few games that's done that for me, and there's some few games that have been like that for me. The latest one I can think of was Black Flag, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I know that Resynced was, or I'm saying corrected, I was playing Assassin's Creed Black Flag because it was one of my more favorite games, Assassin's Creed games, and so, especially with online multiplayer is my really more favorite aspect of the game, even though a lot of people could disagree. There was rumors about stuff being remastered and whatever, and I was like, you know what? Oh shit! I got notifications that my phone's dying, so I'm gonna speed this up. I heard there was remaster, so I was like, let me get into the game, let me replay, let me actually finish the game, because I didn't actually finish the game when I was younger, and so I played it. I was so immersed by it. I was like, this is one of the best games of all time, and then it ended way quicker than I thought, and I was super sad. But at least it prepared me for remastered. But again, I was saying, immersion is, I think, a key aspect into what gamers look forward to and are encapsulated by when they are playing games, by the immersion, how much you're actually thrown into the game, and how much you actually feel for the game rather than just you're playing a game to play a game. And so, yeah, I think GTA 6 is going to take a nod to that. I think it's going to be, hopefully, it goes above and beyond what we're expecting and what we're wanting. And I think, hopefully, it will do that. I think there's going to be, of course, that handful of gamers that are like, nope, I expect way more than this. What the fuck is this game? And there's just going to be that minority that talks shit about it. But anyway, I'm just kind of yapping at this point. I just wanted to make a video because I haven't made a video in a long time. But appreciate everyone that comes through. Appreciate everyone that does stay in these videos and that watches these videos. It does mean a lot to me. I'm kind of figuring out what I want to do content-wise because it's fun doing videos like this, but at the same time, it comes to a point where it's like I got to do other things that are worth my time. I'm not saying that this isn't fun or this isn't worth some of my time, but it gets a little to a point where I'm like, all right, do I want to post a video to a couple hundred people and they maybe watch it and I get some little engagement, or do I just go do other things with my time and make some money? So that's kind of what it's been like. Unfortunately, you know, although I really love doing YouTube and I love doing stuff like this, and I've been doing it for 10 plus years. I've been doing this for 15 years. I started my channel back in 2016, so about 10 years ago, over 10 years ago, but I've always been doing YouTube stuff and messing with it for a couple years. So I've been doing it for a while, and so it sucks that I'm kind of at a point where I don't want to do this, but at the same time I want to do it. So I just wanted to be encapsulating, and that's kind of why I was talking about games and stuff like that being immersive, because I want games to be immersive. I want to be wanting to play a game. I want to be doing YouTube videos. So I'm hoping that with games coming along, GTA 6 coming along, we get a refresh of that aspect for gamers, content creators, and whatnot. So that being said, I'm going to stop yapping. Appreciate you guys watching the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.